All right, so not waiting for sushi, not waiting for my steak to rest. This time I'm making some meatballs in sauce. So, Italian, sauce, acid, going Italian, going Brunello, going Sangiovese. So, Sangiovese on steroids is Brunello out of Tuscany. No map today, but Chianti is a very obvious wine out of that region, but this is the step up. And Chianti to Brunello. And there's variations of Chianti. There's even a higher level of Chianti, not called Gran Selezione, which actually is very similarly priced to Brunello. I haven't had one yet. But the Sangiovese grape, Sangiovese Grosso, and this is Il Poglione 2010. So, great vintage out of Tuscany for Brunello. I had a bunch of 2010s. I'm pretty sure this is my last one. So I figured it'd be a great time to try it. I decanted it for a little bit. It's already got a bricking brownish color on the edge. You probably can't see it, but I could see it absolutely when I poured it. It's got that aged red look to it. And just love these wines with food. I've said it time and time again. With the meatballs, it should be perfect. Let's hope this isn't corked like the last Brunello I opened. No, this is most definitely not corked. That has aromas for days. Unlike the Amarone from the other day, just an update on the Amarone. I did have it 2 days later. It opened up a little bit, but it was still very closed. And then I checked it into Vivino, and sure enough, the first other person that talked about it said it seems like it's closed. Let it decant. I let mine decant. I even let it go for 2 days. It just wasn't showing itself. So don't know exactly what was going on with it. This one's absolutely showing. Oh, yes. It's got that thyme and that herbal and that rosemary. And it's got black cherry. Sometimes these wines can have sort of a fennel, but I'm not getting the fennel right now. We'll see. Some stewed fruits, without a doubt. Stewed raspberries, stewed strawberries. This is... smells great. It's just extremely aromatic. There's some floral aromas coming out for sure. Not roses, but something else. Definitely some floral aromas. Violets, like violets. Great acidity. The tannins are a little muted, which is exactly 11 years old. But that's the acid, so I could feel it. Sides of my mouth, makes your mouth water. This is why this goes good with red sauces and a lot of Italian foods. And just foods in general, because of the acid in it. Little tobacco leaf there as you drink it. All the other flavors are coming out. Really good. Really good. A phenomenally good aged red. You know, I should start talking about the prices of these wines. I think this is about Il Poglione. I think it's about $50. I don't know if I paid $50 when I bought this in whatever year it came out. Brunello has to go through a fair amount of aging. See if there's anything on the back. No, not anything specific. 14.5% alcohol. Still tasting really long wine. Just, this is gonna go great. This is gonna go so good. I can see this going great with, you know, pastas, cheeses, gamey foods, gamey meats, and the meatballs is gonna be no exception. That's why I always have a bunch of Brunellos. Just for nights like this where I'm making something different. And it'll be exciting to try it with the food. Whenever I do my next video, I'll talk about how this was with the food. It doesn't seem like I'm ever following up with a second video. I know sometimes with some of the tastings I did, but certainly when I'm doing a one-off, just having some food and wine, I don't normally come back on and do it. But it seems like I'll talk about it in the next video. No fennel, but extremely aromatic, extremely flavorful. And definitely got that aged color. It's got a brown, almost like a browning, of absolute browning, brown tint to it. This hasn't even been decanting that long. I think this will open up even more as this night progresses. I'm only going to have 2 glasses tonight. I corked the rest to have another night tomorrow or the day after. So, awesome wine. 4.5 out of 5 on Vivino. I think I even had the El Pogliani Reserva one, so I'd have to check my Vivino. And that wine, I think, was pretty much a 5-star wine, but it was amazing. Even an extra, even more time aging. I think in bottle and barrel. So I think the rules are like 5 years for Brunello before they hit the market, but it's not 5 years in barrel. It's 3 years in barrel, 2 in bottle before they can release something along those lines. Maybe it's 2 or 3 in barrel and 1. I always forget. Had to memorize that all for my WSET level 3 test. I don't know if that was one of the questions, but you did memorize all sorts of aging rules like that for Brunello Reserva, Chianti, specifically some of the Spanish wines, Crianza, Reserva, Gran Reserva. There was a lot of that stuff to memorize when you take a certification like the Wine Spirit Education Trust. I brought that up because I saw an article recently on Wine Folly that talked about the two avenues, one being the Quartermaster Somm and then the WSET route. One being more of an educational enthusiast type of route, people that are in the industry. But when I say industry, I mean non-service. The Master Sommelier, the Quartermaster Sommelier route, the CMS route, it's definitely for people that are more in the service industry because there's a service component. How to serve, how to open, how to go around a table, how to pour, just all that stuff that goes along with service. I've never done a day of service in my life, so I went the education route, which is more what I was excited to do. So one last sip, and that tangent aside, turn off this video and go enjoy my dinner.